Hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, Deku had just been through hell. Now, that is putting it lightly. A lot of the things Deku saw and experienced while under that hallucinogen, or the person's quirk, was quite horrifying. In fact, it is something that, he doesn't believe he can ever forget. And after his dad gave him the cure, the antitoxin, as you can call it, or the antidote, he felt a lot better. But he was bawling his eyes out. Now, everyone would get back to the bar after stepping through the portal. And, all for one have to try and find a proper explanation for Deku's cover identity. Well, he would leave Deku in his room and go to make him some food, getting Karagiri to, help out. Basically, Karagiri making the food, while all for one would try and talk with his son, trying to see if he will be fine. Deku seeming to barely respond, giving a glance and a look, while occasionally somewhat just wanting to open his mouth and say something. But even then, he's not even sure what to say. This entire week has been just bad. It's been very bad. And he's not really sure what to do. He just wants to ask a question. And he's not sure if it would be good one to ask, or even if he needs to. Until Karagiri would walk in, bringing Midoriya some food. Basically just leaving it on his bed while he just stares at it. Eventually he would have picked it up and begun to eat it. And Shigaraki, All For One, and Hasashi are still there. Someone just telling Deku that this will be okay. And that, with time, those memories will feel like nothing. All memories sometimes do that. You will hold on to the good ones, the best ones. Now, with that being said, eventually Tomura would have come in and talk with Midoriya, asking him more and more about what happened to him, and if he is okay. Tomura actually feeling like this was all his fault, since he didn't expect them to be ambushed. Then again, he also threw an 8-year-old into a cage match, so he should have expected that. Deku at least asking one thing. To his dad. Did you ever have any followers back when you first started? His dad's somewhat taken aback. Not really a lot of people remember those days. Him just saying, yes, he did. He's guessing that insane man was one of them, right? Yes, he was. Along with the people I killed. Deku, All For One, just telling Midoriya that that's not his fault. He killed because he lost his mind, or, because of that stupid quirk. Deku just saying, not completely. All For One, a bit confused. Asking Midoriya exactly what does he mean. Deku saying that the man gave me the antidote whenever I answered his question about who I was. The antidote gave me 3 seconds, or what felt like not even 3 seconds. I don't even know how long it was. I feel like I've been gone for a month. Then explaining to Deku that it's only been 1 week. And exactly asking him what he's been through. Along with Deku somewhat trying to explain some things. Explaining that he tried to escape once, some of this stuff happened, and, well, he snapped whenever he came back to, trying to just leave it at that, not wanting to know exactly how much blood is on his hands. Meanwhile, you have a bit of a problem. Heroes are investigating the building that has collapsed, and they have found quite a number of corpses. So, this is not good either. Along with the fact that some of them seem to have been shredded. No building could have done that, so this was clearly an attack. But what was it for exactly? Now, with that being said, Deku, he would have eventually been calmed down. All for one having to call and explain what is going on. Deku will be having to take a week off of school because of a certain medical emergency. And explaining the rest of his accidents, or making a fake cover story for an accident he has had. All for one, talking with Midoriya a bit more, and actually getting the doctor to examine Deku and his mental state. The doctor explained to him that he's not a psychologist, but from what he can tell, Midoriya is fragile right now. And what you need to do is leave the boy alone. The doctor pulling All for One into another room, explaining to him that the best course of action might be to take away his memories, just like you did Tomura. All for One just thinking for a second. That is a good cause, or a good course of action. Even then, look what happened to Tomura. His body remembers what happened, but his mind does not. He might just end up like, well, that's boy. Tomura still needs to go through his own growth and get out of his little phase of being a bit more childish. He does take some responsibility, but not a lot. So he just wants his son to try and live with it. It will make the boy stronger, right, Doctor? The doctor telling All for One that if he does do that, then the boy is going to need to relearn a little bit more things. Along with that, his kill count is now a lot higher than we imagined for his age. He butchered those people. Yes, he did. But you cannot leave him to be the sole blame. This quirk is. In fact, I do want to do something. Would it be easy for me to give him a quirk right now? The doctor is somewhat taken aback, telling All for One to not do that. If he gives that boy a quirk right now, there's no telling what can happen. If you're going to do that, then you need to be careful. And understand, whatever quirk you give him needs to be, well, something his body might be able to handle. It's not a physical quirk, is it? No. It's the man who did this to him's quirk. Fear. The quirk seems unique, just like Tomura's. But I do want him to understand this quirk. Not be afraid of it. If I can show him that, then he will truly be a good one. A good what? A good villain. He may not be able to do it yet, or whenever he's at that age, well, at his age, but he will be able to physically scare a lot more of his opponents. So, I will give him this quirk, and allow him to heal. I will spend time with him. I need to, right now. He needs me. Along with the fact that he also needs his father's face. And I'm just staring back into the room, at Hisashi just talking with Midoriya. Now, With that being said, they would have talk with Midoriya. All of one just saying that he wants to hand over a quirk. Deku just looking at him, squinting his eyes and seeing the list, going down it, until he sees the one that his father has. Somewhat like a video game, if you gain a new ability, it is flashing. Just, well, fading out, fading in, fading out, fading in. So he clearly knows what his father's going to give him. Deku somewhat just jumping up and going, well, backing into his closet, telling his dad no. He doesn't want that one. Until Alphawood is backed up, saying that he's not going to force it on him. He just wants him to know. This quirk, it is just like Tomura's. It's a unique one. Do you understand? This quirk will make it to where you won't feel fear. Deku confused. Alphawood just explaining that you will make others feel the fear you have suffered, the injustice you have gone through. Doesn't that sound nice? You can choose who gets to feel it, and decide which hero needs fear, which person needs fear, because you have seen fear itself. Deku is somewhat just stepping forwards, telling his dad that he doesn't want to force that quirk on people. You won't. I understand and believe you won't. This quirk, though, you can stockpile it and wait for another one. You don't have to use it, but you should at least have it. Make sure that you can control fear. Do you understand? Alphawood is holding his hand out. Well, his palm. He's telling Deku that he can take it now. Or, well, he can wait for later. Whenever he finds a quirk he thinks will be good to stockpile with fear. Now, with that being said, Deku would just walk forwards and hold his hand out. Right before he touches Alphawood's hand, he would have hesitated, wanting to pull his hand back before he just decides, slamming his hand into his dad's. Alphawood just telling Deku to take the quirk. If he gives it to him, it will be painful. Deku just focusing on taking the quirk. His dad's somewhat feeling a sharp pain in his hand. But that is about it. Now, with that, Deku has gained fear, and his life would somewhat go back to normal over the course of a week. Anytime Deku has a nightmare, Alphawood would have come running, along with the clone of Hisashi. Since he is a clone, he doesn't really need to sleep. He can fake it, but he doesn't need it. He is there, waking up Deku as soon as he has a nightmare, and at least comforting him in the night. Now, eventually the week would have passed, and Deku would have been a lot less traumatized. That's the best way to say it. Now, with that, Deku, he would have returned to school, along with the fact that there is a bit of a problem. Gigantomachi, he was following him today. Deku just explained to him that he will be fine, and he can at least accompany him to school. Gigantomachi at least, well, nodding, saying that he must protect Little Boss. Deku just telling him that he, well, yeah, okay. The two end up walking to school as Deku would just tell him to stay here and actually just go back to the bar. He'll text him whenever he is gonna leave, okay? Gigantomachi just nodding, turning around and walking away. As Deku would walk into school, quite a lot of people are staring at him, along with the numerous amount of people from the clubs he's in walking up to him, and they are confused as to where he's been, talking with him and telling him that things have been crazy ever since he left. A lot of things have gotten out of order, a lot of things have, well, messed up. And in fact, there is a weird thing going on with one of the people in his club. Deku a bit confused because the girl that has said this, she's in the same club Sayako is in. Him immediately just looking at her and asking her exactly what is she talking about. Her basically just, well, jumping up. She didn't expect Deku to respond. Well, so fast. But he would have responded. And actually just, well, pull this girl aside, asking her what happened. Her explaining that it's Sayako. Ever since, well, one day, like right around the time no, something happened. Her basically just skipping over that fact, saying that 2 weeks ago, Deku, or Sayako, she kinda just went a bit weird. She said that she left school, and well, she sorta just woke up at home. She was missing a couple hours. Deku just, well, noticing that. Asking exactly what day was it on. Her explaining that it was this day, the day Sayako found out about him. Him explaining that that is weird, glossing over the fact that he knows exactly how much time she's missing, and why she's missing it. Along with that, Deku would have walked in to the club to see that she is, well, yikes, a bit more unhinged. She's been drinking tea and at least trying to figure this out. Now, she is also just, well, covered an entire wall of the club with information. And she's basically just holding a pitcher of tea, pouring it into a glass and just drinking it over and over again. As she would see Midoriya, running over and asking if he can give her his expertise. Even with her IQ at 300, she can't figure this out. Deku just confused, asking exactly what happened. Her giving the explanation and exactly showing him the wall. Deku seeing multiple theories. You can clearly see from going about left to right, the theories go from more plausible to crazy. That's the only way to explain it. The first theory being that it was someone's quirk. It was a mind control quirk, a time alteration quirk, or quite simply an erasure quirk. Or one explanation being that she zoned out, she, well, kinda just got taken away somewhere or dropped off. Or other things. Any reasonable or logical explanation turning to more crazy ones. Like, let's say aliens. She was abducted and taken away, studied, mind erased, then dropped off at home. And it would explain something. Deku confused. As she would just say that whenever she got home, she noticed that she had drool on her shirt. She doesn't drool, so clearly she was in a mindless state. Deku somewhat just saying okay. Anyways, as he would somewhat just sit down, going to reach out to grab something, but as soon as he goes to touch the cup, someone would have noticed that his hand is actually shaky, and he would have picked it up and poured tea, drinking it before setting it down, his hand on the table. People actually watching it twitching, and at least showing some signs of, well, nervousness. Someone actually asking Deku exactly, is he okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Seriously, it's nothing to worry about. I'll be okay. You were gone for 2 weeks. What happened? Sayako basically just running over and asking that same question. That one, if she has an answer to, will at least help clear some mind space. And allow her to focus more on this. Deku just explained that he was in a small accident and, well, he had to get some surgery on it. Wouldn't really have been good running around here doing all these club activities on a, well, Deku just saying a hurt this part of his body. Something random. Now, with that being said, this is whenever Sayako would just run over, back to her wall and trying to think about her. Well, one of her other theories. Deku thinking that she just looks like a crackpot right now. And, well, this mystery is going to be open for quite a long time. Now, with that being said, I do want to say that Deku would somewhat resume his normal life, until he does speak to Aiyama. And Aiyama does talk with him, asking him the question to which Deku would give him an honest answer. Somewhat explaining that he was taken, but it's all sorted out now. Aiyama actually noticing Deku's hands really twitchy at that statement, along with the fact that his body was somewhat shaking. And, well, yeah. That would have just been the end of that. Deku eventually having to head home, Aiyama walking with him. Before Aiyama would walk out the door to leave school, he would have seen Deku out there with something. And somebody. He would have watched Deku pull something out of his jacket or something out of his shirt and immediately just take a sip of it. Then, watching as Deku would just walk with this giant person. Not really sure what that was. Before someone says that Deku just drank alcohol, he did not. It's a form of medicine the doctor made for Deku. It helps to reduce his shakiness. Basically, it's helping slow down Deku's heart rate whenever it does increase. Because if his heart rate starts to increase, then you have the fact that adrenaline will just activate automatically. So, this is a good way to help counter his quirk. Deku is told to only take small sips of it. If he takes larger sips, he's at more of a risk of slowing his heart. And adrenaline will activate as a survival instinct. So, that's even worse. Now, Aiyama would have caught up, eventually seeing Deku and basically saying his name. As the gigantic guy would turn and immediately go to swing a hand out. Deku just yelling to stop. The giant guy immediately just, trying to bring his hand up. Or at least slowing it down to stop it in front of Aiyama, as he was actually growing in size. Aiyama seeing this giant thing and immediately just understanding that this was serious. Somewhat saying that is, weird. Deku just saying, yeah, it is. But either way, I do have another question. Yeah, what is it? I've been trying to get closer to Sayako. Why? Are you going to take her quirk? Well, I planned on it, but now I see. She's gone a bit mental. An answer she cannot find. One of her theories, though, are true. Him basically just, explaining. As the two would have walked. Deku saying that if he reveals to her that she was taken, or at least had her memory wiped, then things will be a lot easier. But he needs to also think about it. He needs to find a certain way to reveal it. And if it works, then things will be a lot easier. Besides, it's not the only thing that's happened. She's not the only one who's gone crazy. Deku's the one saying that. before Ayama would watch Deku just basically sprint off. Gigantia basically just following after him. Deku's just running home now. Eventually, Ayama just leaving, and Deku arriving home, and going to his room immediately. Karagiri seeing that. Now, in Deku's room, Deku has run in, and immediately just jumped over his bed and go into his closet, crouching down and actually trying to catch his breath. He is still traumatized by this experience. The fact that he's been able to at least maintain calm is surprising enough to himself. It's almost convincing. Even then, it still is not able to. It's not easy to get over. Damn it. Deku's just getting angry. And doing one thing. He's looked into it before, as he would say 3 things and look around, pointing out different colors and doing more things, until he actually does grab 5 materials from around the room. He grabs a penny, a pencil, a cup that is made of glass, a piece of plastic, and what is a good thing? He grabs the ring his dad has, immediately just touching onto these 5 pieces, mimicking these material all over his body, as he just sits there waiting for himself to calm down. Deku has grounded himself. Now, if you guys do not know what grounding is, it is a good thing for people with anxiety and PTSD. Basically, it is looking around your room, you see something that's a different color. Another thing that's a different color, you see, for example, like a soda can, your backpack, a cup, something else, and, well, you start pointing things out. Basically, this will help you calm down. And he was actually told to do this by the doctor. Someone just staying in his room for an hour, before he would have come out. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys in the next parts.